boys and girls, AEW Freak 1127 here with another edition of the UTF Archive Dive, right? Yeah, episode number 3, I think we're on. I've gotten all the way to episode 3 before I've given up on it. Sweet. I should really give myself a round of applause for that, and you should too. This video that I'm going to be going through here just should never have existed. I consider this, watching through this whole thing, I consider this to be one of the worst videos I think I ever did in terms of fact checking, in terms of what I've mentioned so many times before, which was one of my biggest problems, that apparently not enough people saw because for a time I was getting some pretty decent following. Not seeing the whole picture before the knee jerk kicks in and I just turn on the camera and blah, 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 which is what I've tried to correct with time and age and wisdom and things like that. This is one of the outright worst. And you can see the title, roughly what the title of the video was, Newtown, Connecticut shooting, mental health, not gun control. And essentially, the argument I'm making is that we should stop talking about gun control completely in the United States, and we should be focusing more on mental health. We should be giving more funding to mental health, which they absolutely should. They really should, but not solely on the basis of mass shootings. So, let's begin with another stinker. Let's just get right into it.
To make a video about this. A lot of people yesterday were wondering
no.
I did not feel compelled to make a video about
I had to go back and do that, and I'll do it again.
I did not feel compelled.
These weird intro, I had roughly a different one for each video around this time. It was a way to sort of hide me hitting the start button on the camera I was using here at the time, which was a really good camera, which, fun fact, was the exact same camera that the Archfiend was using. Yeah, really, I asked him on Skype, hey man, you got really good quality, what camera you use? And he told me, went to Amazon, got the camera, and for the longest time we used the exact same camera. Still have no idea what happened to that camera, but anyway, let's just commence the pain.
To make a video about this. A lot of people yesterday were wondering where my video was about this. I really wasn't going to make one, but then I started reading more and more things online and more articles and listening to more and more people talk and seeing more and more posts on Facebook. And all I've really seen, especially on Twitter,
just make the video. Who cares? Oh, I wasn't going to make the video, but you know what? Just make the fucking video. What am I doing? Like, I did this so many times and phrased in so many different ways, but all essentially the exact same thing. I was pondering making a video. I was thinking about making a video. I was trying not to make a video. Just make the fucking video. Yelling at myself. Totally not, ridiculous or anything.
Is gun control. You all know how I feel about gun control. This is not going to be a rant on gun control. Gun control has very little to do with what transpired yesterday, and what transpired in Portland, and what transpired in Minnesota, and Fort Hood, and the Florida school board shooting, and every other mass shooting in this country. We need to focus on mental health in this country. I don't hear it a lot. I've heard a few people talking about it, and those few people have compelled me to make the video about this because those people have their heads in a clear spot. But everybody in this country wants to get riled up about banning guns. We need to ban guns. We need to more stricter control. Stricter control. Why isn't anybody talking about the piss poor state of mental health in this country ever since the economy collapsed?
Okay, first of all, there are plenty of people talking about mental health, just in general, not even... The main problem that I have with just rushing to the we need more funding for mental health to stop these shootings thing is because it attempts to inextricably link mental illness and gun violence. And the mentally ill, people suffering from a mental illness, are way more likely to have violence inflicted upon them than the other way around. This was a fact then. I made this video in 2012. It is a fact now. And what is also still a fact is that the state of mental health care in the United States, and healthcare just kind of in general, sucks. Sucks really bad. But first and foremost, to continue to rush to that, oh, we got to get more funding to mental hospitals, we got to get more funding to mental health. Yes, that message just comes off so much better when you're not adding the baggage of gun violence or mass shootings to it, because you're trying to, even if you're not meaning to, inextricably link the two things, mental illness and gun violence, and you are stigmatizing people with mental illness. And as somebody with mental illness, depression, anxiety, and I was even open about having, as I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, for the most part, I talked about depression and anxiety and my struggles with it. I really should have been more aware of these things before I decided to go on camera with them. Oh yeah. Should probably play more.
Why am I not hearing about this more often? What is it that gets people so riled up about gun control after one of these shootings happen? I could sit here and tell you that if more people had guns, it'd be able to stop things like this, vigilante justice. I could tell you anything about gun control that I believe, but the fact...
Did I really believe that? Holy shit. Yeah, this was when I was in that period of, if you really want to stop gun violence, give more people guns and people will stop shooting each other. I was totally in that state of mind at this point in my life. This was whenever the Newtown, Connecticut shooting was. I think it was autumn 2012, maybe. I was firmly, oh my God, any chance I could get on camera and talk about how gun control is absolutely something that should never be. I was trying to be one of those people. I was trying to highlight all of the leftist attributes of myself while also showing that, hey, I got a few right-leaning things in there as well, like guns, and for a very brief time being anti-environment. And yeah, with time I have not gotten more conservative, I've gotten much less conservative. And I think, we'll just, maybe I'll say something interesting, maybe.
Remains that the state of mental health in this country is failing, and it's been failing for years. More people cannot get the mental health care that they need. People snap, people go insane, they go nuts, and it compels them to go shoot a bunch of people.
God.
And not every shooting is motivated by some sort of mental malady. I understand that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them could be prevented if people simply had the
No. The video could have ended there. The video could have ended exactly.
care that they understand that. But a lot of them by some sort of mental malady. I understand that.
Right there. It could have been 1 minute and 50 seconds long, and I could have switched the title, and we wouldn't have a problem here, and I wouldn't be lamenting this video almost 10 years later. But unfortunately, it looks like it went on for another 2 minutes and some change. It really could have ended right there. Not every mass shooting is perpetuated by somebody who has a mental illness or is influenced by somebody with some sort of mental illness. And the phrasing I choose to use, somebody snaps and goes crazy. Once again, trying to paint the picture that gun violence and just violence in general and mental health are things that walk hand in hand, when, again, the statistics do not show that. The statistics do not favor the idea that people with mental illness are more prone or more likely to cause a mass shooting or to randomly snap and go, whatever phraseology I wanted to use.
But a lot of them could be prevented if people simply had the care that they needed. And they can't get it in this fucking country, and nobody wants to open the discussion about it.
There are plenty
and
of
it
people.
pisses me off. Because when you go to turn on the TV after one of these shootings, and by the way, the best thing you can do after a big shooting like this is to shut the fucking TV off. The media...
That much is true, yes. The absolute best thing you can do for yourself in most major news situations in the U.S. especially is to just turn off your television and just AP News, Reuters News. That's about the best you can really do. But I want to take a look at my background here for a second, because this is a background that I used to make maybe 20, 25 videos. From a different angle, I made some other videos in here too. I had this tiny ass TV back here that I used as an aux monitor, hooked up to this gaming laptop that I still have in that closet right there. Old thing. This laptop's probably got plenty of old videos that I could find on here, which is sort of a side message to UTF Archives. I might have some more material for you soon. If I can find a charger for it. And I would try to have like a different background every video or every other video, and this week I chose Hugh Laurie, or whatever period of time, Hugh Laurie as Dr. House. And that's something that has not changed. In fact, I just got done rewatching the whole 8 seasons of House once again, probably for the 7th time in my life. That's something that will never change. The greatest show of all time, ever, in my opinion. And I was drinking bottled water because the tap water tasted like shit, so there's the water bottle. And yeah, I remember this room. And UTF Archives, if you're watching this video, this is a room where a discussion took place. A surprisingly nice discussion. All those years ago, and like I said, once again, 2012. And then you got there's some kind of lizard or something that my ex had. Yeah. How did I ever get any work done here? Jesus.
It does not a goddamn bit of good, especially with how misinformed they were about the simple facts of yesterday. All running around there like a bunch of monkeys, fucking humping footballs, not knowing what was going on, and just speculating and throwing shit out there, putting microphones in people's faces, putting microphones in little kids' faces, asking them, well, how did you feel? It was a shooting. How the fuck do you think they felt?
It's another sentiment that I stand by. I hate how the media swarms people and puts microphones in their faces when tragedies happen. How are you feeling? Yeah, well, I just saw 17 people get blown up. Let me try to summarize for you briefly, Mr. Cameraman, asshole. A bunch of monkeys humping footballs. I believe I stole that line from Miracle, the hockey movie with Kurt Russell. Yeah, that's where I stole the... yeah. It just... I totally forgot that I used that, and probably in some other videos too.
But turning on TV and watching all this shit about, well, gun control here, gun control there, we need to ban guns. Where the fuck's the discussion about mental health? Where the fuck is the discussion about mental health clinics being defunded left and right because we just can't find the money to pay for them?
Ronald Reagan, among many other horrible things he did during his reign of terror as United States President from 1981 to 1989, began to lay the groundwork for the defunding of community mental health centers. Basically anything for the community, anything that would help the inner city poor, especially if they're minorities, got defunded under Ronald Reagan. So there's another bit of a fun fact for you. Although the state of mental health in the United States for the longest time has really not been something to be proud of. We'll just put it that way. Another point that I wanted to make, fuck it, I won't make another point.
Mental health that people need, that they desperately need, that they can no longer get because they can't afford it. Why don't you people shut the fuck up about guns for a second and start going after the real culprits here.
The real culprits. Yeah, this 21, 22-year-old guy on YouTube, he knows the real culprits, and he's going to tell you, right? I'm almost 31 now, by the way. Not this. I'm...
That would be nice. That would be lovely. But this is America. This country is run by the fucking media. People are run by the media. People are influenced by the media. And as long as the media is talking about gun control, that is what people are going to be saying. And I know it's already a knee-jerk reaction to say, let's just ban fucking guns. Let's just get them out of the way. I get that.
Why not?
I understand this country is not in...
Long pause to just kind of... Yeah, I don't know if I want to watch much more of this because it's just, it's just becoming clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer to me the more I watch this video that I was just really hoping that people wouldn't see me as a liberal leftist weenie. So I really wanted to hammer home anything, like any time that guns came under scrutiny in the U.S., which was any given day, I guess that was my I'll show you my right card, I guess, or my right winger card, if you will. Here's the right wing issue that I really am in favor of, and it didn't stick, not for very long, because you don't have to look for very long to figure it out. The United States is not alone in the fact that there are a lot of people suffering from mental health. Where they are alone is having a lot of people who suffer from mental health and having all these goddamn shootings. So you have a problem that's not unique to your country. A problem that is not whatsoever unique to your country. I mean, every other country, their society, they have problems with mental health, and they approach the problems differently than they do in the United States. But they don't have people shooting each other left and right. You know, not even in the mass sense. They just don't have these types of shootings. They just don't happen. So that's really all you need, right? I mean, obviously the problem goes way, 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 way deeper when you talk about why another human being decides to pick up a gun and shoot another human being and kill them. There are so many reasons. It's such a varied topic, but that's a pretty good starting point, right? When it comes to, tossing mental health out, or at least making it a very ancillary, smaller sort of problem, that you're the only country where this shit is happening. You can bring up this scapegoat and this scapegoat and this scapegoat, but it always comes back to, this is the only country where this shit is happening, and we need to do something about it. And the one thing that we haven't tried, and then that's where the conversation ends, because nobody wants that at all. Nobody would even fathom banning any sort of gun in the United States. Well, maybe certain types of guns, but a sweeping ban of them. I can sit here and tell you right now that personally, if they did do that, I wouldn't care. I would say, you know what, you've tried. For how many decades are we going to have to go on and on about, okay, let's try this and this method, and then how many decades am I going to have to watch this method not be tried? Just going back and forth while the gun lobby holds both parties by the balls and twists firmly every now and then to remind them that they're the ones who are actually in charge and not the politicians. So by that merit alone, if tomorrow somebody said, hey, all guns are being banned in the world or in the United States, I would be like, okay, based simply on the fact that you haven't tried it yet. They've tried it in other places, and guess what? Gun violence is either completely reduced to zero or is very, very... But these are numbers, these are statistics, these are things based in fact. And your average gun person in the United States, when facts, they don't penetrate. And this is where I was in danger of heading. I'm just sitting here thinking of the kinds of conversations that I would have had with people at the gun club or at the shooting range, the kind of empty, hollow, factless, just the type of bullshit that we would have discussed. Like, oh, man.
And it's in the right state of mind when a big tragedy takes place. But we need to think more rationally about things. We need to look at everything on the table, not just gun control, people. There could be people in your lives that aren't getting the mental health care that they need. People that you know, people that you interact with on a daily basis that can't get the help that they so desperately need. And one of these days, that person could do exactly what some of these morons are doing.
Oh.
But we're just going to be talking about gun control, right?
Just sprinkle a little
It's fucking infuriating.
personal sensationalism.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, and the nice dramatic exit. You know, oh, no. That's all I can say here. Oh, well, all I can say now, almost 10 years later, is that video just should not have existed because it did way more harm than good. It added more fuel to the fire of let's stigmatize people with mental health. You tell somebody that you're depressed or you're going through a rough time and they'll, oh no, yeah, you might want to, take it a little easy on Jimbo there. He's going through a hard time. He said he's having some difficulties in his life. Oh, there's no telling what Jimbo might do. You know, I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't want to live in a world where people with mental illness are stigmatized as anything, really, because people with mental illness are people, and they have jobs and they have lives, and they function and they add to society, and they are positive forces in this universe, and they should not be held to this expectation that if things go bad in their lives, they're just going to... And my video just gave that line of bullshit I was talking about more fuel, and I'm so sorry it ever had to see the light of day, and that it continues to see the light of day, but this video is kind of like the antimatter of that video, and in that this other video may never be destroyed, but at least, you know, and some more science stuff. But I guess we can end this video here because it is quite long. And you're probably not watching anymore, but if you are, thank you for watching. And if you have any suggestions, if it's a video I can find, I will talk about it or make commentary. I wonder if there are any people I went after in the past who made commentary videos kind of like this one. Boy, it would be really funny if I made a commentary video on that. Oh, I'm sure I never did that sort of thing, ever. Have a good day, folks.